Okay, so thanks for purchasing my program. When you purchase the program, you should receive a text file like this. Obviously, I haven't done it yet because I'm just recording this video, but it'll be something like this. It'll give a link to the program. So the link is to a Google Sheet. So what you do is you just copy the link to the program and you can paste it into your browser here. Open it up. This is all done on Windows, by the way. And it says here, edit and collaborate in real time with Excel files and Google Sheets. So with this link, you won't be able to like edit the cells. So you won't be able to like input like your maxes in here. So that's no good. So what you need to do is you need to download it. So you can press the download button. If you're on a different browser, the download button might be in a different place, but here on Chrome, it's here. So just press download, and you should be able to see it here. So that's it downloaded. So what you want to do next is just find where that file downloaded to. So it's showing it here. It went to my downloads folder on Windows 10. That's the XLSX file. The next thing you want to do then to be able to edit the values is you want to go to Google Drive. Now if you don't have like an account on Google, you can just simply create one and then search Google Drive, and eventually when you log in you'll be able to see something like this. So what you do then is you just drag and drop the file you just downloaded into here, wait for it to upload, and then click into it. So now you own the file and you can edit it. So it just automatically opened up Google Sheets. That won't happen all the time. So just in case that doesn't happen, just right click here and click Open with Google Sheets. So that's great. You have it here. So here, in the first part of the program, you can actually input your maxes now. So just close that. So let's say your max snatch is 100 kilos. It's no problem. You can enter all that in. Max snatch 130, just as examples. So enter in all your maxes there and you should be able to follow the program. So to view this file on your computer, all you have to do then is just go to Google Drive and open it. And it should save. So you can see values I just inputted there for the snatch, clean, jerk. It stays the same. So snatch is 130 for the clean jerk. So you don't have to press save or anything. It just saves automatically. So okay, so just to show you how you can do this on a mobile phone. This is just an Android phone. The steps might differ on iOS. So once you get the program, again, you'll get like a WordPad document or a text file just giving you a link to the program. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to copy that link and then go to my browser, and I'm just going to paste it in here. So, and then I press enter. So again, once you open this link, you won't be able to edit it, especially not in the browser anyway. What you need to do then is just press the download button wherever it is on your browser. So it's going to press that and it's going to download. The program has been downloaded, it says in the bottom corner there. So I just went to my downloads, and you can see here at the top, 15-week weightlifting program. So I'm just going to press that. And it says here, because I don't have Google Docs installed or Google Drive, it says search the Play Store. You don't have any apps that can open this type of file. You can search for one in the Play Store. So what I'm going to do is just press search. It's going to search for programs where I can actually open up this file. But I'd recommend Google Sheets. If you can't find it here, just search it. So it's going to press Google Sheets. Install, wait for that to download. So yeah, once that is downloaded and installed, just go to downloads, whatever app you view your downloads in, and I'm just going to click here, the program. and then it'll automatically open up in Google Sheets, or you can select it if the option comes up. So now you can view the program. And you can read the information here about the program. Probably better to actually view this in landscape. So yeah, you can read this. And to edit the 1 hour maxes, just click high volume phase, and you can edit it here on your phone and view all the weights you have to do. So let's bring this a little bit closer. So I'm going to edit this. So I'm just going to change the snatch max, let's say max of 105 kilos, let's say that's your max. Press enter, and then for clean and jerk, let's say your max is 125 kilos. You just enter it there. So it's as easy as that. Just like fill in the rest of the lifts there, and you can press back, and everything should automatically adjust. So you can actually follow this program just using your phone. You don't have to go on a laptop or desktop to view it. You could also do both. So if you transfer the file to Google Drive, like I showed in the first part of the video, you can view it there on your desktop, and then you can download Google Drive for your phone and just open it there as well. And once you make an edit, you can view it on both devices. So it's as simple as that. As for people using like Macs and iPhones, the steps might differ, but it's definitely possible to do this. So after you do all that, you can go to the Play Store or iOS Store and download Google Drive. If you didn't set up an account, you can do it on the phone as well. So I'm just going to press open here because I already have it installed. And I'm going to upload the file we just downloaded and edited. So I'm just going to press the plus here. I'm going to press upload, and I'm just going to locate the file we just downloaded. So it's this one. Gonna click into it, and it is uploading. So that is gonna upload eventually, and it's here now, and I can open it from Google Drive directly. And since it's on Google Drive, I can access it on desktop as well, so that's handy. So yeah, if you just go to the high volume phase, you can see the values I just entered in earlier are still there, so that's handy. So now that it's on Google Drive, I'll be able to access this on desktop and my mobile phone. So I can edit it here and I'll see it on desktop, or I can edit on desktop and I'll be able to see the changes here. So this is really handy. Okay, so now that it's all set up, you should be able to see this, and you should be able to edit values inside here, put in your own maxes, etc., and change values here. So the first page here is just information. I just basically outline how you install it, which I just went over anyway. Also, like how much weight you should add each week and other recommendations. I guess we'll just go through this in video form instead of you reading all this, because I guess it'd be much easier to understand what I mean, like me explaining on video. So yeah, at the start of this, I just basically give, I'll just zoom in here actually, just a summary of the program. So yeah, first steps, download it, you've done that. Yeah, so the stuff to edit immediately is in yellow, as you can see here. If you go to the high volume phase, you just input your maxes here. You should know your 1 hour maxes, or at least like a good estimate of it. Let's say your 1 hour maxes right now is not equal to your all-time best, then it's best to input those numbers in instead, and then you can increase weight at a faster rate when you start the program. So let's say your best snatch of all time is 100 kilos, but recently in training, last couple of months, you've only done up to 90 and that is your max currently. Then yeah, you can put in 90 kilos here. But then when you start these exercises, you can just take bigger increases week to week. So yeah, just input your maxes here, and everything is adjusted automatically, as it says here. So in the first part here, these are just example values. So I just put in, as an example, 90 kilos in the snatch. That's your 1 hour max. 110 clean and jerk, back squat 145, front squat 127.5, push press 85 kilos, and strict press 60. So this is calculated on the program automatically. So that's just an example. You can put in any value here. You can put in a 200 kilo snatch. Let's see what comes up. So for the first week, you'll have to snatch about 145 kilos for 4 reps pretty much. That's quite hard, but I doubt any of you are snatching 200 kilos. So I'll just put in 90 as an example. So the weight is increased from week to week in increments as per recommendations, and the recommendations are down here, which I'll go over on this video. But like, if you don't manage to increase the weight 1 week, it's no problem at all. Just edit the cell with what you actually lifted. I just said that there. So to just give the example, so day 1 of this first part of the program, let's say on week 1 you do 80 kilos, week 2 you do increase it by 2.5 kilos, you do 82.5 kilos in the second week. But let's say on the third week, 85 kilos you think is too much for you, you try 85 kilos and the form really breaks down, then it's no problem just to edit the cell and put in same weight as week 2. So you can do 82.5 and you'll see this will adjust automatically once you press enter. So that will go to 85 kilos. So then you can try 85 kilos on week 4 instead, and you can do this with all exercises. Like, it's unlikely you'll be doing these increases like 5 kilo increments in the back squat like throughout the whole program. So I outline it here anyway. We'll go over eventually. Like the weight shouldn't be increased if like the technique breaks down significantly. And like with strength exercises, it's best to stay in the range of RPE 8 to RPE 9. So if the RPE, like rating of perceived effort, if you don't know what that is, just Google it. If that goes above 9, like let's say you're doing RPE 10 set, then like you should lower the weight or do the same weight as the previous week. So to give you another example, you start off with back squats, 95 kilos, 3 sets of 8. That's no problem the first week. Then you increase it by 5 kilos, you do 100 kilos, 3 by 8 in the second week. Third week, you can increase it by 5 kilos again. You do 105, 3 sets of 8. But on the fourth week, it's like 110 kilos is impossible for you. Let's say that's going to be like above RP 9. So then what you do is you can do 105 kilos again, or you could do like 107.5 kilos. You can do a smaller increase. So let's say, you did 105 here. Everything is like adjusted automatically down here for the part 2 of the hypertrophy phase. So this just tells you how to install it, which I already showed you anyway, so it doesn't matter. So this program is broken up into 3 phases: high volume phase, strength phase, and peaking phase. For part 1 of the high volume phase, the sets and reps are the same week to week. This is also the case for part 2. So what this means is for the first 4 weeks of this program, like the sets and reps are the same for each exercise week to week. So you're doing in, let's say, the snatch high pull times 3 plus snatch, you're doing 5 sets of 1 on week 1. It's the same for week 2, the same for week 3, the same for week 4. It doesn't change. You're not doing 7 sets here and doing 4 sets here. It's 5 sets of 1 for every single week. Another example, power clean and jerk times 2. It's 4 sets of 2. Week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. So it doesn't change. But it does change later on in the program. So if you go to the strength phase, if you look at like the snatch here on day 1, week 8, it's 5 sets of 3, 5 sets of 3. For week 9, 5 sets of 3 for week 10. But now on week 11, it's 4 by 3. And then week 12, it's 5 by 3. So it's the same every week except week 11. And you can see here, if you go to the peaking phase, it really changes like week to week. So you can see here, for the snatch, day 3, you have 5 sets of 2. Week 14 is the same, 5 sets of 2, but on week 15 it's 3 by 1. So just keep that in mind for like the hypertrophy phase, high volume phase. The sets and reps for part 1 is the same week to week, and part 2, like the exercise change. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, just made a note here. If you need to decrease the weight significantly because of a bad session, that's fine. Just input the weight you did, and the next week you can bring the weights back to normal. Okay, so to give you an example of that, I'm on here the strength phase. So let's say, for example, you're on week 9, day 1, snatch, 5 sets of 3, and you have 75 kilos here. And let's say you're having like a bad session, like technique is crap, and you're not even able to lift 72.5 kilos. You're not even able to repeat the weight you did last week. It's no problem to like just input here. Let's say, I don't know, let's say you have a bad session and you really need to lower the weight. You just do 60 kilos, like way less than week 8. That's no problem. Just enter here, press enter. And then the next week, week 10, like hopefully you'll have a better session. You can do the same weight as week 8, or you can go above it. So you can either go 75 or 72.5 and just press enter, and then everything will adjust automatically again. So yeah, it's no problem to just do what I did there, like to decrease the weight a lot if you're just having a bad session. You don't have to like repeat the weight you did the previous weight or increase it. You could even go lower and then just increase it the following week. So that usually happens in weightlifting. It's not as like predictable as like powerlifting. Like you can have really bad days of technique Olympic lifting. So this actually might be necessary. So I kind of already went over all this, like who should follow this program. Yeah, you should have consistent technique in both the lifts. If you're struggling with like technical errors, mobility, yeah, don't follow this program. Fix those issues first, and then you can follow this program. Yeah, 1+ year experience. Definitely recommend that. You should know your 1 rep max, of course, and yeah, you should have no significant injuries that prevents you from doing like the exercises listed. Let's just say you have an ankle injury that prevents you from doing split jerks, and you just need to rest it up. Then it's okay to just do power jerks. And then once it heals, you can start doing split jerks again. Also, when I write jerk here, so that no one's confused, it means split jerk. If you're primarily a power jerker, then I guess you can just do power jerks. That's totally fine. So I already went over this. Like, it might even be wise to decrease the weight in the lift from a previous week. Like if you have like some technical error that you're trying to fix, and increasing the weight or even keeping the same isn't a good idea. Like it varies, like the increase, like it varies between exercises. So like for the full lifts, the snatch and clean and jerk, I would recommend like an increase of 0 to 2.5 kilos every week, or 0 to 5 pounds every week if you're using pounds. That's the increase I'd recommend, and it's already on the program. So you can see here for clean and jerk, 4 jerks, the increase is 2.5. Oh, I actually forgot to edit this back. So that should be like that. 2.5, yeah. So the increase is here, 2.5 kilos every week. And like I said before, it's actually unlikely you'll be able to increase the weight 2.5 kilos like every single week of the program, and it's totally fine to like adjust these values. So let's say here on day 3, the power snatch complex. Oh, by the way, on powers, which I'll go over, the weight increases week to week shouldn't be as much, because you want to develop like speed in the power variation. So I already inputted this, so you can see here you don't add weight from the previous week. So you do 60 kilos week 1, 60 kilos week 2, 62.5 kilos week 3, 62.5 kilos week 4. Of course, you don't have to follow this, but I wouldn't recommend going over these values, and that's quite an important rule in the program. Like, I wouldn't recommend going over the values that are automatically put in. So I don't know, let's just say on this like clean and jerk complex, Like I wouldn't recommend, doing 90 kilos the first week, even though it says 80 kilos here. You shouldn't do that. Just follow it as it is. These are like the maximum increases that you should take. You shouldn't go beyond them. So you shouldn't go beyond 82.5, 85, etc. So for squats and some other strength exercises, like you can take bigger increases, as it says here. But you should stay in the range of like RP 8 to 9, as I said earlier. So what that means is, let's say, again, an example, day 1, week 2, you're able to do 100 kilos. You're able to do 100 kilos, no problem. Week 3, if you did 105 kilos, let's say you went up to 105 kilos for the first set, and if it was like an RPE 10 set, like you grinded out the last 2 reps or something of this set, then you should decrease the weight back to like 100 kilos and keep it in the range of RP 8 to 9. So you'd input 100 kilos here and press enter, and then it should automatically readjust. So on week 4, that's the maximum increase you should take. Remember, like these values are in here. These are like the maximum increases you should take week to week. Like it's unlikely you'd be able to keep adding 2.5 kilos every week to each exercise, or 5 kilos to each exercise. That's not the way I wrote this. So for power variations and pulls, like the weight actually might feel like too light for you, but like this is ideal in my opinion, because like the focus on those exercises should be on speed and just recovering from like heavier sessions with like full lifts. And like if you do pulls correctly, like with good technique, with your hips low, where you actually use your legs and don't like round your upper back and just let your hamstrings and back take over, it's quite a difficult exercise. Like when I was helping Hayden out with weightlifting, even though his max in a deadlift is close to 300 at the time, I actually made him do like clean pulls with like 120 kilos, just because his technique wasn't good enough. And when he did it properly, he actually found it difficult. Like 120 kilos, even though his max deadlift was 300 kilos. So that's an important thing in pulls. Just perform them correctly. Don't worry about the weight increases. On the program, again, it shows like the maximum increase you should take on pulls week to week. So like in snatch deadlift here, which later changes to like snatch pulls. So you can see here in the strength phase, it's snatch pull, it's not snatch deadlift. Yeah, I just put in like the maximum weight you should increase. So you do 102.5 kilos the first week. This is just like based off these weights, by the way, like to be higher or lower for you. So next week you do 105 kilos. But let's say that is, I don't know, feeling heavy. If you're doing like proper technique, then it's no problem to just input, 102.5 kilos, press enter, and then it'll adjust automatically and tell you. That's no problem just to input in the same weight as week 1 if you want to improve on form. Because if you just keep adding like weight each week, which is not realistic, again, these are just like the maximum increases you should take, you'll just let your form deteriorate. Like the exercise wouldn't truly be like Olympic style like snatch deadlift. It'll just turn into like a powerlifting style snatch deadlift or snatch pull, which isn't really beneficial for weightlifting. So just keep that in mind on pulls and power variations. Like the increases don't have to be huge like week to week. I even did this automatically for powers. You can see it's 80 kilos here for this hang power clean complex, and it's 80 kilos here again for week 2, and then it increases 2.5 kilos. If it's not possible to add weight, then repeat the same weight as the previous week. So already went over that. If the session doesn't go well, it's totally acceptable to lift less weight than the previous week and then increase it again the preceding week. So already went over all this. If technique breaks down, you should lower the weight. So like let's say on squats here, you try 110 kilos for 3 sets of 8. First set, it's like an RP 10 set, and your form breaks down. Then just lower back to 105, and then do the 2 remaining sets at 105 kilos. That's no problem. And you can just like input 105 kilos here, and then try for more the following weeks. So yeah, I just said here about RP. I use it instead of percentages on some exercises. Like, since with those exercises you can't really know your max and it's not practical. So as an example here, like weighted sit-ups, like no one's gonna know their water max on a weighted sit-up. And I actually kept the RP quite high on like certain exercises like this, because it's not that fatiguing to like do like an RP 10 set and like weighted sit-ups. Like I actually do this in my own training. Like another one as well, which differs from like the other set and rep schemes, is strict press. So you have 4 sets. This is the first week. Oh, sorry, week. So this is the first part of the program. You have 4 sets AMRAP in the strict press. So what that means is you do 4 sets for as many reps as possible, and that's at 70%. This is the intensity, by the way. Like this field, you can just ignore. This is all calculated automatically. So like if you put in your strict press max at 100 kilos, then you'll do 70 kilos here. So just as an example here, I put in 60 kilos. 70% of 60 is 42. And the weight won't increase for this week to week, so you shouldn't increase the weight on strict press week to week. Instead, you should try for more reps. So on the first week, you might be able to do 4 sets of 6 to 8 reps. The second week, it might be 4 sets of 7 to 8 reps. Week 3, maybe the same. Then week 4, maybe you'll be able to do 4 sets of 8. So that's an improvement on reps rather than weight. And you're doing the same thing pretty much on day 4, but with 75% instead of 70%. And it's the same down here for part 2. So day 2 it's 75%, and day 4 it's 80%. So the goal is to get more and more reps. Should exercises be changed? And I just gave a short answer here, simple one. Like the exercises on the program shouldn't be changed. Like you shouldn't change them. And I just basically said here, like a mistake that beginners and intermediates make is that they constantly change the exercises in a program. And I said here, it actually might be optimal to change some of the exercises on a program to correct a technical error. But it's not a good idea if you're someone who's inexperienced, or if you don't have a coach. Like I make that mistake often in my training. Like I just like changing up the exercises for no reason, even though I should like just stick to the exercises I was doing and improve on those. So me with like 12 years experience, I still make that mistake. So I wouldn't recommend it unless you have like a coach or you know for sure it's a good idea. And I basically just said here, like, to keep things simple, like just follow the program. Like your progression will be better overall if you just stick to the program. And like it's a very important rule just to do that. If you have an injury that prevents you from performing a lift, then I would recommend using a lighter weight or replacing the lift with a lift that is as similar as possible. So I just gave an example here. Let's say like you have a wrist injury preventing you from doing front squats with a proper front rack. So then you could just do front squats like the cross arm style, the way powerlifters do it, or you can just use straps. Can additional exercises be done? Yeah, like I just wrote here they can be done, but it's preferable if they're in a warm-up. So I'm talking about like, you know, exercises like drop snatch, like just muscle snatch to warm up, like soft press, those exercises. Like you can do those no problem in a warm-up. I gave an example here, like if you're struggling with like speed under the bar in the snatch, then something like dead hang snatches or drop snatches can be done like while warming up for a snatch. And like for bodybuilding type exercises, you can add them in as long as they're not like very fatiguing. So if you're doing something like, I don't know, heavy deadlifts or something, I don't know, that's like an extreme example, then obviously that's going to interfere with this program. So you should just stick to easy like calisthenics or dumbbell exercises that aren't too fatiguing, but like you really don't have to, because there's already a lot of stuff to do on the program. Is it possible to change the days for each training session? Yeah, so on the program here, I just put in example days. So part 1, high volume phase, you're doing 5 days a week. So I just outlined that as day 1 Monday, day 2 Tuesday, day 3 Wednesday, day 4 Friday, and day 5 Saturday. Those are just example days, probably the best days to follow. You could totally do like day 1 Tuesday, day 2 Wednesday. You can change around the days like that. And on the strength phase and the peaking phase, the frequency increases by 1 day, so you're doing 6 days a week. So there's not a lot you can change there. I just gave like recommended days like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But you could easily do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and have Monday as the off day. Like, that's no problem. Let's say like you have, I don't know, a job where you work a lot more Monday, then that would obviously make sense. And most people are off on weekends, so if you could change around the program so that you train on Saturday and Sunday, I think that would be ideal. If you're off on those 2 days, then obviously like performance will be better. So once this program's actually like available on my website, I'll have like videos attached to all these exercises so that there's no confusion. Because I think like weightlifting coaches write exercises in a weird way. Maybe I do as well. I think my way makes a bit more sense than coaches writing 5 plus 2 or whatever in the clean jerk. Like, that just confuses people. So the way I wrote it, like complexes, I just wrote the exercises here like this. So the first exercise in day 1, it's muscle snatch plus behind the neck snatch grip press times 5. So you're doing 5 sets, 1 rep of this complex. So 1 set would equal a muscle snatch followed by 5 behind the neck snatch grip presses. So that's the way I write it. So here you're doing 4 sets of a clean followed by 4 jerks. So that 4 times. Another example here, you're doing 5 sets of snatch high pull times 3 followed by a snatch. So 3 snatch high pulls followed by a snatch. So that this isn't so confusing, because like many people get confused by this, I'll just attach like videos to all these exercises on the whole program so no one's confused. So I obviously haven't done it yet, but like once this is on my website, you'll be able to click into links. I just put in YouTube here, but like once you click there, it should bring you to a video showing the exercise. I basically demonstrated all these exercises so that there's no confusion whatsoever. So when you're following the program, you can just hover over the exercise and then click this link and it should show the exercise. So no confusion. Another thing as well, you can see here on day 4, you have snatch followed by 3 hang snatches, and you have 3 sets with increasing weights. So day 1's 65 kilos, 67, 70 kilos. This increases week 2 and then increases week 3 again. But then on week 4, I want you to go for a max in this complex. So what this means is just go as heavy as possible in this complex for like one set. You don't have to do like 3 sets here. So yeah, just max out in this complex. Nothing more. You don't need to do 3 sets like you did here on week 1, 2, and 3. It's the same for this clean jerk complex as well. On week 4, day 4, just go for a max on that complex and nothing more. And it's the same here on week 7, day 4, the snatch plus overhead squat times 2 complex. Just go for a max and do nothing else. Also on the videos that I'll attach on all these exercises, it will show 1 set of that exercise. So let's say here on week 5, you have snatch plus overhead squat times 2. I will show 1 set of that. So 1 set of that is a snatch followed by 2 overhead squats, drop the bar, and then do another snatch plus 2 overhead squats. So that's what 2 reps means. It'll make sense once you just watch the videos, just to keep it easy. So yeah, on each video, it'll be just 1 set. So there's 2 deload weeks on this program. You can see here on week 6, put in brackets deload. So these numbers are based off this field here in the deload field, which shows the percentages. So it's just 60% of your best strict press for muscle snatch there. So yeah, on deload weeks, the weight is very light and usually like have a day off. So this just allows some recovery. So yeah, this is the other deload week, which is week 11, and yeah, the weights are very light compared to the other weeks. So these should be very easy weeks, and it should allow like more recovery. So just to explain the program overall and how it works. So the first phase of the program is a high volume phase. You can also call it a hypertrophy phase. The goal here is to build muscle mass, to increase your potential to get stronger, to make more gains. On this phase, like, you'll be doing a lot of variation. So you can see these exercises, like there's loads of complexes, loads of interesting exercises here, like behind the neck snatch, grip press. So you're going to be doing exercises that aren't that closely related to like a pure snatch and clean and jerk, which is fine when you're far away from a peak or far away from a competition. Part 2 is mostly the same, with slightly less volume, with a slight increase in specificity. So then you transition to like the strength phase, and this is where the exercises get more specific to like the pure snatch and the clean and jerk, and the volume decreases. So this is when you're like really building strength. But of course, like on every phase, you know, there's some tests at least that you can have some goals. Like you can have a goal in this complex. Like you can hit a true max on exercises just with like higher reps. Like the goal in the first 2 phases isn't to, you know, get a new 1 or max snatch or clean and jerk. It's just to improve like your work capacity and increase your strength. And then the peaking phase, that's like when you really test out your strength. But I put in max out sessions quite often on this program. So you're maxing out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're maxing out on 5 weeks of the program, which is quite a lot in a 15-week program. And the reason you do that is because this is Olympic lifting. Like, it's important to actually test your ability, like with heavy weights and snatch, clean, jerk. You can get away with like not testing out your maxes often in a powerlifting program, for example, and you could just max out at the end of it and get a 20 kilo PR in the back squat. Like, that's totally possible, but getting huge PRs like that in the Olympic lifts isn't likely. Like, you have to test your ability often with like heavy weights, because that's a skill in itself. So that's why you actually max out quite often. It's nothing crazy like the Bulgarian weightlifting program where you max out every single day or week. Like, that's extreme, and that's only for advanced lifters, but this is quite often. And the max out sessions, not all of them are on like just pure like snatch, clean, jerk, 1 or maxes. Like, it's on different complexes. Like here on week 7, part 2, the high volume phase, you're maxing out on this complex, which is something you probably never maxed out in before. So again, on the high volume phase especially, like, the goal isn't improving your 1 or max snatch, clean, jerk. Like, during this phase, like, your best snatch and clean jerk actually might get worse or decrease, so don't worry about it. But like, your rep maxes will improve, and other exercises will improve, like such as strict press. Like, that should definitely go up with the intensity you're training. And with the strict press, by the way, like, you're probably wondering why it's so intense. Like, you're doing 4 AMRAP sets every week. That's no problem with strict press because it's not a very stressful exercise. like you'll find that you can do like multiple RP 10 sets in the strict press and recover fine. And you're only doing it 2 times per week anyway. If you did this with like back squats, you'd be very fatigued. It wouldn't be possible, and that's why I recommend staying in the range of like RP 8 to 9. So yeah, like hypertrophy phase, snatch, clean, jerk numbers might actually go down or stay the same, but like other exercises and maybe like some of your weaknesses like might improve. Like if overhead pressing is a weakness, then it will definitely improve during the high volume phase. If your squats are weak, it'll improve during the high volume phase. Your 1 rep max squat might not improve in this high volume phase, but like your ability to do a lot of work in the back squat will improve, and like your reps will improve, which will prepare you for later on in the program. So yeah, the strength phase, you're doing more specific exercises. So the goal is leading to, a big 1 rep max in the snatch and the clean and jerk. And then finally you get to the peaking phase where everything is very specific. You're just doing snatch, power, clean and jerk, power, snatch, clean and jerk. It's very basic, and you're doing a lot less volume. So like, believe it or not, during this peaking phase, you wouldn't really be getting stronger. You'll be just testing your ability to display that strength. And the reason you max out in week 13 and week 15, which is quite close together, is because with Olympic lifting you can recover from this no problem. And I find with just experience from coaching people, it's usually better to have like 2 max out sessions, so they have like a second opportunity. So like, let's say on day 5 they max out and hit 97 in the snatch. They try 100 kilos and come very close to it, but miss it like 2 times. At least on week 15, then you can try 100 kilos again. So that's why there's 2 max outs very close together. And by the way, if you want to like schedule this program for a competition, you can totally do that. It might not line up perfectly with a competition, but you can just like adjust the program slightly, like leading up to a competition. Like have a taper week earlier if it doesn't line up perfectly. But yeah, you could do week 15 the week of a competition. So let's say like the competition's on Saturday. Like you can do this day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. No problem. You can follow this. Maybe have an off day on Friday and then just max out then on Saturday if the competition's on a weekend. So you can do that, no problem. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this. So the next few clips are just going to be the exercises, like demonstrations of all the exercises in this program, so you don't have to watch them right now. You can just watch them later. Like clicking these links, which I'll put in later, will give you like a direct link to that exercise on the video. So yeah, thanks for purchasing this program, and I hope you enjoy it. And by the way, if you have any questions, post a question down below on this like YouTube video, and I'll try to answer it. And that way everyone can see it, if it's a common question.
Changes